Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the official start of Season 2. So, with Episode 1, we're going to be going over a quick recap of the off-season and then doing the NFL draft here. A few quick notes. I unfortunately was not able to re-sign our cornerback, Logan Ryan. The money was just too much. He wasn't willing to accept what I offered. He ended up actually, I'll go through the awards in a moment, but we'll just say that that's a loss, and we're going to have to fill in somewhere, somehow. So Logan Ryan is gone, probably one of our biggest losses. Ryan Leary, our right guard, is gone. However, I did replace him with Kelechi Osamale, I think is how you say his name. So we're not really losing anything at right guard there. Josh McCown retired, which we kind of anticipated. I did bring in a quarterback on a one-year contract, so our new quarterback going into next year, barring somehow drafting a superstar quarterback going into next year, welcome back to the franchise, Phillip Rivers. So Phillip Rivers is going to be our QB1 as of right now going into next season. I also signed a punter, Matt Hack. Those were my only 3 free agent signings. Everybody else either wanted too much money or decided to be free agents going into next year and decline my contract. A couple of them did find other teams. So unfortunately, still have a lot of holes in the team, more so than we did last year. The draft is going to fill some of those holes, and then I'll have to fill the rest of those holes with free agency in the preseason. I did mention we won some awards, however. So, first up, Nick Chubb won Best Running Back. Logan Ryan, Best Defensive Back. And Myles Garrett was the 3rd best defensive lineman. So, 2 number 1 awards and then a 3rd place award. The most impressive one being Logan Ryan winning Best Defensive Back, because that isn't just one position. That's cornerbacks, free safeties, and strong safeties. And he ended up being the best one out of all of them. So again, like I said, that's going to be kind of a big loss for us. Hopefully we can find someone to fill in. With that said, I went through, got my draft board all set up, so we're ready to go for the draft. Without any further ado, the 2020 NFL Draft will be starting now.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock.
All right, time for our pick. We're going to go Oscar McKenzie, defensive tackle. All right. He was anticipated to be the 8th 8th overall talented person, drafted him at 6. And actually, if you've seen, he was projected to go in the 2nd round. So our scouting department helped us out there.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
You know, the unfortunate thing about this draft is there weren't many good quarterbacks.
Are now on the clock.
There is a good quarterback later on that I wouldn't mind snagging, depending on how picks play out. However, there's no top of the draft franchise quarterback. So Phillip Rivers will likely be our starter going into next year. There were a lot of wide receivers,
The Buccaneers are now on the
defensive backs, linebackers, and wide receivers. So, you know, maybe we might be able to pick up a few of those and improve our team. However, it looks like our next pick is going to be coming up.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock.
So I could improve that interior defensive line. That's why I had this guy rated up here. However, as you can see, there are some really high quality players here. I gotta trust my draft board though. He would be really nice to have. Yeah, I'm gonna trust my draft board, trust my process.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Select Sheriff Blackburn. Now, he's listed as a right end. However, I'm going to move him to defensive tackle. So, as I said, one of my biggest priorities going into this offseason was improving that interior line. I understand maybe the 2 guys we picked up to play defensive tackles aren't going to be maybe the best people on our on the field when we're on defense. However, hopefully they do execute enough in order to free up Myles Garrett and Joey Bosa.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks
All right.
are now on the clock.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take that tight end. Tight end is still available. I'm going to go ahead and take him. So with the 14th pick, Oklahoma City selects Rayshawn Wynn.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Now, as you can see, I know last year they lowered the stats of rookies, which I kind of like having 70s overall being the average player, with 80s and 90s being kind of stars and superstars. So with that said, we are picking guys that are 70s overall. However, you can tell that we're picking guys that are around the talent level of where we're actually picking. So far, scouting and the way I put together my draft board has us picking guys about where they should go, and they're guys that we need. So far, doing pretty well. There were a few guys on the draft board that have been taken that I would have liked to have, but again, I set up that draft board understanding that not all the guys are going to be there, and whoever's there on the top of my list when it's my time to pick is going to be the person that I feel is the best to take. So far, that's been the case. So I'm going to continue to trust the process, right? Still got a couple more picks until our next pick, and I believe that'd be the 21st pick. I believe that is our last pick of the first round.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Looks like the talent level that's being selected, we're seeing some in the high 60s and most of them in the low 70s. So there's been a little bit of a drop off from the top of the draft. However, everybody's still getting that lower to mid 70s quality players. So it looks like there's still plenty of talent on the board, with that said, it's time for our pick. And just want to make sure, yes, this is our last pick of the first round. Who's at the top of our draft board? A wide receiver. I do need a wide receiver. However, also really need a center. So let's take a look at these two guys. Both of them are projected to go in the second. However, my scouting department and I both feel that this is about where they should go. Wide receiver. He's a physical, tall receiver. He's fast. Maybe not a burner, but he is fast. Doesn't have much acceleration or mobility, but he is the strongest receiver in the draft with the best jumping ability, and he can secure the catch. However, we need some offensive line help. This guy looks like he's going to be a good blocker, maybe not the strongest, but he does look like he'll be effective. However, I think we're going to need some playmakers, so I'm going to go ahead and take D'Angelo Kitchens.
The Jets are now on the clock.
All right, so again, it says we reached, but we're really only off by a couple. So I think so far we're still getting good talent. Trusting our scouts and my intuition when I set up the draft board. Now, with that said, that was our last pick of the first round. So by the time our next pick comes around, we're probably going to see a downgrade in talent. But we'll have to see. Maybe the way I set up my draft board, I have some of those guys that were projected to go later. They're scouted higher, though, so maybe we can still pick up a few good ones.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
We are seeing the talent, like I said, drop off, though. Also, I would like to say we swept the Chiefs last year. Did not expect that to happen. However, my main goal was to put together a defense that can contain them, and we did.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Looks like they went defense this year, though.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Okay, so you're seeing that the average player is starting to be around that 70 to 72 range. So we're continuing to slowly tick down on the quality of the rookies here. I think since our next pick isn't until the 17th of round 2, at the end of round 1, I'm going to go ahead and do skip to user. Although I'm going to look at my draft board first and see if there's anyone I want to trade up for. I don't really have assets to be giving away, so it's unlikely that I'm going to give too much away to move up. However, if there's a position that I think we can improve on,
the Panthers,
like maybe trading away Austin Eckler for there's a halfback that I've seen that I think would be a good addition to back up Nick Chubb. Maybe Austin Eckler for that pick and see if I can pick up a third round. So we'll see what's available at the end of the first round here. And actually, I'll go ahead and take a look now before we get to the end. So looking at my draft board here, we still have that center on the board, so I'm not sure that he's going to be available when we pick again. So I might actually want to trade up for him. We don't have that second cornerback, so hopefully Barnett's still available when we do pick. We are good on defensive tackles now, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these guys from my draft board.
The Steelers.
Childress is the running back that I said might actually be a good replacement for Austin Eckler. He is an elusive back, not a receiving back. However, he does have some speed and some good running ability, so we just need to build up that receiving.
The Saints are now on
the receiving back stats. With that said, though, aside from the center, there's not really anyone I want to trade up for. He is projected to go at the middle of the second round, so let's go ahead and go to maybe the 8th pick of the second round and see if he's still available. Because as you can see, our defensive line is really bad, or our offensive line is really bad. So, going to go ahead and skip ahead to pick 8.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
And there goes Childress. He ended up being a 76 overall, so that's one of the better players in the draft, and they got him in the second round. Like I said, I had a feeling he was going to be good.
The Broncos.
All right, is our guy still available? I think he might be. He is. All right, so the Broncos are on the clock. That's a division rival. I really don't want to trade anything to division rival. Let's go ahead and go to the Falcons. Just hope the Broncos don't take him.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Falcons. See if we can make a trade here. I'm going to be willing to give up that second round pick that we have. Let's go ahead and get their first round.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Well, looks like they went ahead and selected, so I didn't have enough time. Fortunately, I thought we'd have more than 20 seconds, so I'm going to have to go ahead and pause this one. Let's see what the Buccaneers want. Alright, so for their 42nd, I'm going to start off offering the 53rd. Now, I don't really have anything else. They want defensive tackle, so what do I have here? I could offer them Jones because we don't need him anymore. Do they want him? Let's just see where this puts us. Okay, we're close. How close are we without him? Not too far off without him. Definitely not trading them Bosa. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do Justin Jones and a 5. Close. I'm going to have to give him a 4. If this doesn't work out, though, we're just going to have to...
I see both
okay.
teams filling out
Alright, so
you know what that means?
it was expensive. It cost us a 4th round defensive tackle. And then moving up from that 2nd round pick. However, we really need that center. As you can see, we have nothing on the offensive line. So, in the end, I think it's going to be worth it. So, Chris Butler, welcome to Oklahoma City.
The Titans are now on the clock.
We got number 11th overall talent. We got a 74. So, again, I think it was worth it. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next pick.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock.
So I did say we needed some secondary help. However, this is a zone cornerback. We run, for our starting quarterbacks, we want lockdown corners. So I don't know how effective he'd be as a second cornerback, but maybe he could be that nickel corner, that third cornerback that comes in. What else is available, though? We do need a linebacker. This guy's a little weak. This guy's stats here. Okay. I think I might have to take him and just hope he develops and we can build up his man-to-man play. I don't want to go too far down my draft board here. However, I think we are going to miss out on a lot of really good talent. But we need pretty much all of them, so I might as well take a cornerback to help out our secondary.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Okay, so again, got another quality person in the 2nd round because of trusting the draft board, trusting scouting. Now, we don't have a pick in the 3rd round, and I don't have the assets to move up, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip to...
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
It actually looks like the 5th round because we traded away that 4th round pick.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now
See
on
who's
the clock.
available. Okay, so we do still have some quality talent available. Did I take a tight end? I did already take a tight end. I could pick up the right outer linebacker here. if we trust our process, that'd be the pick to make. I do want to get a fullback and a kicker, but I think we can wait until I do have another 5th round pick and then 6th. The next 5th round pick is going to be that fullback if he's still available, and then that 6th round pick is going to be Lewis. So let's see. Hope things work out. For now, Marquis Gordon is going to be our pick. Okay, so he's a 68. At this point, I don't think that's too bad. In fact, if you look, he was a 71st overall talent. We got a 136, so not bad. Maybe not what we need out of a starter, but at this point, he's the best right outer linebacker on our roster.
The Buccaneers are now on
okay, so skipping to our next 5th round pick. Is that fullback still available? He is.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Okay, so that 68 is going to be about the same as the fullback that we already have. However, the fullback we already have can't block. This guy looks like he can. Advancing to the 21st pick in the 6th round. See if we can pick up that kicker.
Are now on the clock.
Okay, awesome. We got our kicker too.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
And with our last pick, it's going to be kind of a shot in the dark.
The OKC Nighthawks are now on the clock.
Maybe not a shot in the dark. We do have people scouted. However, it's mostly going to be positions that we've already filled. And this guy's rated as a do not draft. So, I did pick up a punter in free agency. Now, I could pick up this guy as a blocking fullback. But I'm going to trust that we already picked up one who's going to be serviceable. Are there any quarterbacks available? Man, I don't know. None that I really want to use a pick on. Maybe I pick up a lineman here. What don't we have? We don't have a left guard at all. Could move one of these guys to left guard. Not taking him because he's weak.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Oh, we missed our pick. I forgot to pause it. It gave us a punter. Awesome. Thanks, game. Well, I was going to pick up that left tackle. However, mistake on my part. I forgot to pause it. Ran out of time, so that's the end of our draft.
The Browns are now on the clock.
So let's take a look at the draft recap here. See, I think we picked up some quality players. I really would have liked to get that left tackle here instead of the punter because I'm just going to cut this guy. We don't need him at all. So that's unfortunate. I am curious, though, to see how we did as far as picking up the best players. So if we sort by overall here, looks like the Giants got the best player in the draft. Okay, so we have one of the top players. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say we're probably at about 5 out of the top 15. 6, 7. I'm not going to count the kicker. Let's see, where's that 6th one at? Okay, so we have 6 out of... Out of the top 23 players, we got 6 of them. That's about 1/4 of the top, well, 24, but so not bad. Of course, where'd our guy go here? So our defensive tackle was our best pick, and that's the guy that I picked up with our 6th overall pick. He ended up being one of the better players in the draft. Might actually make some plays for us. Unfortunately, we have so many holes, it's going to be difficult to fill everything. So I don't know what we could pick up in free agency for preseason yet. However, based off of our roster going into the offseason, the players that we picked up in free agency, and then the players that we drafted, I can't take last year's 9 and 7 and say that we can build off of that, or even that we got worse. I think we overachieved last year. My prediction last year was 3 to 5 wins. I'm going to say 4 to 6 wins this year. I underestimated last year's team. However, we are a little worse this year so far. So I'm going to stick around that 4 to 6 range for my prediction for this upcoming year. With that said, that's the end of episode 1. The next episode will be one of the first games of the regular season. I'll catch you up what happened in the off season and what happened in the regular season leading up to our first game. I think our first game of the year might be the home opener, so we can see our new stadium in our new city. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting for the whole first season. If you're just now joining for the second season, welcome aboard. Thank you for supporting. Have a nice day, and watch out or check out the video tomorrow when we start our season.